All right, let's talk about retirement planning. For a lot of people, it feels like one of two things. Either this chaotic mess of different accounts and a million questions, or a clear, protected path forward. So the big question is, how do you get from that chaos to the clarity? Do you try to build that path yourself, or do you hire a professional guide? We're going to get into it. And let's start right here with this question. Do you see retirement as just a number you have to hit? A single savings goal? Or is it more like a really complex puzzle with dozens of different pieces that all have to fit together just right? How you answer that? Well, that kind of defines the entire challenge ahead of you. Because it turns out, a secure retirement isn't just about saving a pile of money. No, it's about making all the different financial pieces of your life, all those puzzle pieces, actually fit together and work in harmony. I mean, think about it. Retirement isn't a finish line you cross. It's more like a long road trip that could last 20, 30, or even more years. It's not about making one single decision. It's about a whole series of choices about your income, your taxes, your healthcare, and they're all linked. They all have to work together for decades. It's really a long-term strategy game. And for most of us, getting close to retirement, this probably looks familiar, right? Your financial pieces are, well, they're everywhere. You've got your 401k from work, maybe an old IRA from a job you had years ago, a Roth account, a brokerage account, maybe even an HSA. It's all just kind of scattered. And the real challenge is figuring out how to turn all these separate piles into one single, cohesive plan. So this is exactly where a planner comes into the picture. They're not just looking at one of your accounts. They're looking at the whole board. Their job is to take all those scattered pieces and run a coordinated playbook. So let's see what that playbook actually looks like. First up, and this is huge, is something called income mapping. This is the process of taking all those different savings accounts and turning them into a reliable, predictable paycheck every single month. Honestly, this is probably a planner's #1 job because it directly tackles the biggest fear most people have about retirement, running out of money. It's all about creating that confidence month after month. Next is tax coordination. And wow, this is a big one. It's not about minimizing your taxes for just this year. It's about minimizing the taxes you pay over your entire retirement. A planner helps you strategize the order of your withdrawals, when to pull from your traditional 401k, when to tap the Roth, when to use the brokerage account, all to lower your lifetime tax bill and, this is key, avoid those sneaky, expensive Medicare surcharges. Now let's talk about a risk that a lot of do-it-yourself folks completely miss: sequence risk. So what is it? It's the danger of a big market downturn hitting right at the beginning of your retirement. If you're forced to sell your investments when they're down just to pay your bills, it can wreck your portfolio for good. A planner protects against this by building a proper cash cushion so you can ride out the storm without having to sell low. And believe me, it doesn't stop there. A good planner is also a strategist for getting the most out of your Social Security, a guide for navigating those crazy healthcare costs, a sounding board for huge life decisions like downsizing your home, and, maybe most importantly, a coach who keeps you from making emotional mistakes like panic selling when the market gets scary. It's the whole shebang. Okay, so what happens when you decide to go it alone? Look, many people do it successfully, but there are some really common and really costly pitfalls that can totally derail an otherwise solid plan. So let's just look at a side-by-side comparison. A planner is focused on your lifetime tax bill, while a common DIY mistake is just trying to lower taxes for this 1 year. A planner actively protects you from sequence risk, but a simple DIY plan often just ignores it completely. And a planner anticipates the huge hidden costs of healthcare, which are often just massive blind spots in a DIY plan. The big takeaway here is that a real strategy anticipates problems that you just can't see when you're planning on the fly. Maybe the biggest pitfall of all has nothing to do with the numbers. It's about our own brains. As the saying goes, behavior beats spreadsheets. We're human. We're emotional. Scary headlines make us want to sell low, and market hype makes us want to buy high. A planner can act as that critical circuit breaker, giving you the discipline you need to just stick to the plan when your emotions are trying to take over. Okay, so after hearing all of that, you're probably wondering, how do I know if hiring a planner is actually the right move for me, for my situation? Well, let's break it down. Let's look at who typically gets the most bang for their buck from professional guidance. See if any of these sound like you. A planner could be a really good fit if you're, say, 5 to 10 years away from retirement and you're starting to ask that big question, are we ready? Or if you're already retired and you need to figure out how to turn all that savings into a paycheck.
It's also super helpful for couples who need to coordinate their plans, or anyone dealing with complex situations like big RMDs or leaving a smart, tax-efficient legacy for their family.
But on the other hand, look, not everyone needs a planner right this second. If you've got a guaranteed pension that covers all your essential bills, fantastic. Or if you're still decades away from retiring and you're just focused on saving, a DIY approach can work just fine. The real key is knowing when your financial life gets complex enough that a second set of expert eyes becomes a really good idea.
So, we'll end with this question for you to think about. Is your retirement plan built on a spreadsheet, or is it built on a strategy? See, a spreadsheet can tell you what you have right now, today. But a strategy gives you a roadmap for the next 30 years. It's a plan to make your money last, to protect it, and to fund the life you actually want to live. It's definitely worth thinking about which one is guiding your future.